Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to another exciting Propagandacast. And we're in fact going to be off to a rather running start. This is going to be a long one, but hopefully also exciting. It's going to be a 1 versus 1 on long range. It shall be featuring Becreative of the American Army, of the 4th Armored Division, fighting somewhere in Lorraine region. Yes, again, I'm for some reason stuck with that all of a sudden, not entirely sure why. I suppose it's a bit different in my mind from Normandy, because the other force will be playing alongside more of a Panzer brigade, I suppose. Which again, I can't help but feel the opponent, which is the Panzer Lead, rather deals with nicely as well, besides being, an SS Kampfgruppe. Either way, though, barracks are up, 2 engineers. Lots of Panzer gunners away from Neugieux, and of course also note he is about rank 12, although this seems to be a Smurf account, which is rank 11, or level 11, while his opponent is level 16. In fact, he's in the top 50, so he's not exactly a novice either. So this should be an interesting fight. Panzer is already moving out of the Panzer Brigade. The 106th Feldherrnhalle. For some reason that sounds impressive. We are seeing a bit of a focus right here from the engineers in the west, while the American riflemen head towards the east. This is quite unusual. Usually you see players focus right here, but in this case it rather looks like Becreative is living up to his namesake, being a bit creative and not doing what most others do. In fact, he's going for 3 engineers now. That's again pretty much unseen. And Neugieux, being a bit more novice, though a bit rawer, actually uses his Panzer to take points. Preferably myself, I would usually try to go for a bit more aggressive Panzer Grenadier start. I would try to sort of, harm my opponent's capping, and of course get those riflemen in a more spot that works more to my favor. But apparently Neugieux of the 106th Panzer Brigade feels otherwise. Riflemen coming under pretty severe fire. 1 man down. More could be going down as well, as they are trying to cut off the fuel. And note, Panzer Grenadiers are not the best troops to actually be taking territory with. They take reasonably slow, unless of course you get the upgrade for it. And again, I'll try and remember, get those skins up. The one pack I'm currently using, I just keep forgetting because there's so much else going on in my head. But fuel point has been rendered neutral, so got a deal of harassment right there. Rifleman pulling towards here. Becreative again pushing onwards, now going towards the east after having delayed Neugieux's rather early capping business. Of course, I have to see how this one works out. Still, 3 engineers, 1 rifleman team with more on the way. Panzer gunners coming under fire, a little bit of grease gun, but the Panzer gunners do manage to push away those engineers and riflemen. Also, fun fact about the Panzer brigades: there weren't really any sort of SS variants of it. I believe there might have been 1 or 2 SS, 2 or 3 SS Panzer brigades, and that was about it. Whilst they were mostly basically just regular German army, although not the best trained. Usually just barely trained and then given some very high tech equipment in some cases, like say Panthers and all that. Although later ones might have gotten more Panzer IVs and Stugs instead of the early ones, which got a lot of Panthers and Jagdpanzer 470s, which rather refers to the fact that they were equipped with a Panther gun as well. Panzer gets 1 team against some riflemen, forced away. Again, Neugieux's lines are pretty flimsy. He's got Panzer guns everywhere. They're not really cooperating. A bad thing to do as a Panzer League. You usually, again, want your infantry to be cooperating. 1 team out of cover. Be careful, be careful. And Americans cutting off fuel for the Vermax. Jolly good show there. And now going for the other point. Becreative again, being very aggressive, being very creative. Now going for grenades as well, with only 2 rifleman teams. My goodness. Though he is lacking a bit in fuel, though that's probably because he didn't go for that one right away. And indeed, this could prove to be his undoing, as Neugieux is going straight for the Panzerjäger command. He's probably going for some armored cars. And this, of course, could prove to be a disaster for the Americans of the 4th Armored Division, as they are trundling their way towards Lorraine, leading Patton's forces. And 1 Panzer gunner, 1 rifleman drops at the exact same time. The dear, oh dear. And there we go, first grenade off. Neugieux does spot it, get his Panzer grenades out of their riflemen down. And now they are getting outgunned by the Panzer grenades, who are doing an excellent job in gunning down those nasty riflemen. So hurrah and huzzah. And these engineers being pushed away, and ooh, good job right there, being creative. Right there, mining down, and oh dear, losses again. And heavy wounds to these Panzer Grenadiers. But armored cars should soon be on the way, and that's only going to be needed. Neugieux's forces are in a pretty terrible state. Heavily wounded, he's going to need defensive operations back up in his space, otherwise he's going to suffer a lot more very soon. And that's going to be expensive. And flamethrower engineers out. For Becreative, although these engineers, oh dear, they don't even make it, do they? Or apparently they do, otherwise that would have been 50 munitions right down the drain. Come on, Fraps, be nice, there we go. Panzer goes pushing up, but again, bad condition for these Panzer Grenadiers. Might have recommended getting them out of there. And there we go. Rückzug. Mach schon, schnell, schnell. Back to the action, a full retreat though for Neugieux and the 106th Panzer Grenadiers. Kettenkrad also out on its own. Not good either.
Enemy unit down.
And no, let's not play a game. I'm in one. And again, you should be able to note that I am doing some casting or watching a replay, since it says I'm in a skirmish. Either way, though, armored car does arrive. Well, I suppose the Panzer Brigades wouldn't have had those, except they've added for support. They mostly had basically armor and Panzer Grenadiers. They were rather lacking in any other sort of support assets. They did have some pioneers, and I suppose few reconnaissance troops, but otherwise they were pretty lacking. They, for example, had very, very little in artillery, which mostly resorted to, I believe, some mortars. That was it. And oh dear, this armor car's already been taking some pretty severe damage, though. I suppose that's the curse of it being lightly armored. Once more going for the cutoff point and defending it to once more deny Mr. Neugieux as many resources as possible. Becreative being pretty aggressive as well, although he should be careful, otherwise he might be suffering some pretty unfortunate bloody losses. And he's definitely going to be needing a supply yard up very soon. Perhaps some more riflemen, something, and medic station will also be good. Another armored car arrived. Riflemen just need to get the devil out of it, including these flamethrower engineers. Get home, men. Get home. You can't do anything. And there we go. Becreative being creative enough to get the bloody hell out of there. A rather bloody fight, but at the same time, I suppose he basically wanted to trade lives for territory. And as you might have noticed, the Panzer League commander barely has anything left, now laying down mines as well. Supply on the way, rather than getting reinforced. Again, medic station, though, would be good to help in the long run. Keep up the rate of attrition against those damned Panzer Grenadiers, those krauts. Armored car in a slight overwatch position. Trying to break out, and of course now having lost a Kettenkrad, his ability to seize territory is going to be much hampered, unless of course he gets another one, which I would certainly recommend. But supply and up, so we'll hopefully be seeing a multiple soon from Becreative. Unless he fancies being extremely creative and going for something else. Or not even going for any vehicles at all. But there we go. Motor pool on the way. Armored cars patrolling, and we do see a replacement Kettenkrad. That's lovely. Oh dear, he's going to be driving right into that mine, isn't he? No, just barely avoiding, as he does see some engineers. And again, going straight for this cutoff point. Becreative knows what he wants, and he's going to get it. He's going to constantly harass Mr. Neugieux right there. Quite aggressive, quite wonderful, and Neugieux is certainly having some problems dealing with, despite having all of these armored cars. Kettenkrad does spot the mine. And did he get another unit, actually? I think he might have killed some German Panzer Grenadiers or something else. No, apparently not. Just thought I heard the report of something going down. And Kettenkrad once more needs to get the devil out of there. Defensive operations is up in the Panzer League base as they are moving in from the other flank. Flamethrower engineers moving in. Going to smoke those crowds out, or literally burn them out. Oh dear, the engineers went down, and I don't think they ever got one kill. That's quite tragic. 50 munitions that could have been spent better, I think. And why did he go for an observation post there? I mean, that one, I can't quite get makes sense. You know why? Because there's one much closer to his base he could have done it with. I mean, this... Why? It makes no sense. It's closer to the enemy. It's quite exposed. And it's not going to be easier to protect the cutoff because there's one right there as well. So, I mean, it just makes no sense. But mines going off. Armored car heavily damaged. Becreative certainly being creative with his mines quite a bit as well. Lovely to see. Lovely to see. I don't think there's any doctrinal choices from either player as of yet. Panzer support command up. Anti-tank half-track on the way, which is certainly quite a good idea, as we are seeing American armor cars now moving out. Becreative, though, is lacking a bit. I think he might have suffered some heavier infantry losses. Down to 2 rifleman teams, an engineer team, plus an armored car. He was aggressive, but I think he was a bit too aggressive. And another cannon crowd that goes down. In this case, Neugieux clearly holds the advantage. Observation post under fire, but looks like the armored car is there to save the day, although it's going to need some upgrades soon. Unless that anti-tank half-track catches it and does something nasty to it. Come on, armored car, come on, armored skirts, 50 caliber. And we are now seeing a second armored car arriving for Becreative. I don't even think, actually, come to think that he has the munitions for it. At least he's not only upgrading one, my goodness. But let's return to Neugieux. His Panzer Grenadiers doing most of the fighting. Second armored car arriving. No, he went for the 50 caliber. My goodness, why that? Perhaps he's just feeling there's no point in spending 50 munitions on that when he knows there's the anti-tank half-track nearby, but... I mean, my goodness. That's quite unseen of, in particular from a rank 16 American commander. Quite bizarre, to be frank. And these riflemen are still inside in that building. Quickly getting inside the building though. Armored car rolls up, coming under heavy fire. 50 caliber fire joining in from the armored car. At a decent range, so the anti-tank half-track can't do much. Might have used its threat breaker, so it's actually pulling back towards the base to have that replenished. Riflemen inside the building, slightly bad condition, want to be careful. I definitely think that Mr. Becreative needs to be creative and creative up some infantry. Of course, also no Panzer Grenadiers can repair, although they're going to need again an upgrade to sort of be any good at it. In that case, they actually become pretty damn good. And armored car gets off a nice little shot there, 1 kill. Still no armored skirts though. Again, pretty rare you see that. More mines from Becreative. Looks like a kitten crowd is on the eastern flank. Good to see that. A bit of harassment. Anti-tank half-track also moving up there. Neugieux needs to really move out, take some territory elsewhere, push the armies and all that. In particular, since he's pretty much lacking on all resources. Barely getting any munitions, barely getting any fuel. And that's currently really the only advantage Becreative has, because, well, he's suffered a lot, but still, he's ensuring that his opponent isn't getting as many resources himself. Though he again needs to be careful. And a grenade mine hit for the armored car. Grenade on the Panzer Grenadiers. And Panzer Grenadiers here, oh dear. Panzer Grenadier team went down, and we're seeing a logistic coming up. Second anti-tank half-track ready. BAR's up for Becreative. That's certainly been creative in this stage. Not entirely sure I'd recommend that. Assault rifles have been equipped for some of these Panzer Grenadiers. Points being taken. He's got quite the fighting spirit. I've rarely seen that. I mean, he's taking blows I think would have sent most lesser American commanders running home to their mothers. I mean, he's been quite unorthodox. Yet he's still in the game. I mean, he barely has any army, yet he's still holding most of them out. And I suppose that's actually a bit of a problem on Neugieux's behalf. But then again, Becreative is constantly attacking. I think that's actually what's sort of scaring Neugieux. He's constantly under attack. Despite the opponent's force being quite weaker than him, it's still sort of keeping Neugieux at what little he has left because he feels he really needs to protect it. So in that sense, Becreative is perhaps being a bit creative when it comes to the mental warfare. But let's speed this up a bit. Because again, this is going to be a rather long game, and of course this also means lower quality. Armor cars moving in, Panzer is charging in as well. Oh dear. And more mines. Oh dear. Again, being creative with what resources he has, including mines. That is what we like to see. And this observation post is still up. My goodness. Albeit it's seen better days, obviously. And the kit crowd is pushing on nicely. And we're seeing a tank depot going up. The 4th Armored Division is now going really for the armor. Increased squad sizes at the same time for Neugieux. Figuring he wants to increase the squad sizes, that's not a bad idea. Of course, can increase the firepower drastically. And of course, make each Panzer Grenadier squad much more formidable. And of course, it also means teams equipped with assault bombers suddenly become a lot more lethal. Kit crowd that gets spotted though, tank depot on the way, and again, Becreative is pretty low on everything. He still has only 3 units, and again, I think if he'd gotten a medic station much earlier, he might not have been in this absolutely horrific situation. But I mean, in comparison, we are seeing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 units from Neugieux versus 3. Although looks like an anti-tank gun is now joining in, but still, that's quite a bit. 40 Megers now joining in to support. The 106th Panzer Brigade fell down Halle in its fight right here in Langres.
We have 300 points left.
Or whatever we might be imagining it could be called in the Lorraine Alsace region. And an armored car immobilized. Looks like it might have been fixed again. Mine hit. Oh, 40 Megers taking heavy losses. Again, those mines are absolutely paying themselves off quite handsomely to Becreative. In particular, in what he really needs, which is time. Time to get himself back on his feet, get some units out, kill some pesky krauts.
Attention, the enemy advances.
And we are now seeing... oh, I can't remember that one. Fieldcraft, there we go, Fieldcraft ability, which means, of course, he will soon be able to use his Panzergrenadiers to take territory about as regularly as Volksgrenadiers, but also spot mines if they're standing still. And a Hellcat tank destroyer arrives for the 4th Armored Division, as majority of what else can be mustered up from the 106th at this moment of its half-tracks and other bits rolls in. And it certainly would have been half-tracks. That would have basically been the only thing it had. A Panzer Brigade really essentially in most cases wouldn't have had some infantry with machine guns and all that. They would have been mounted on half-tracks, although I think some of the later ones would have had because they'd also had trucks. That's sort of the thing. Mines still get spotted. Tank destroyer moving in. Half-tracks moving a bit around cautiously. And now we are seeing Panzerschrecks on the way from Neugieux. Let's speed this up again. Lighter fighting, anti-tank, and a bit unsure what to do. Points being taken again, both fuel points again, hoping to deny it to Neugieux. Becreative again, being rather creative in how to fight his opponent. Might be an idiot to pull back that anti-tank in a bit. There we go. One engineer makes a heroic run for it right there. Oh dear, riflemen need to get out of there. Riflemen need to get out of there, and... oh, they barely just... no, they didn't. They went down to the FD-42s of the Fortune Jaegers. Tank destroys out middle thing. No 50 caliber though. That could have been nice. Now, and... oh, mine went off. I think that was his own mine, but a Panzer set it off by accident. Hellcat pulling back anti-tank and pulling back engineers moving in to secure the house next to it, so it can't be occupied by infantry. And Panzerschreck equipped Panzer Grenadiers moving through the center, up the field. And Hellcat has been immobilized. There's barely any support left. Riflemen moving up through the east. And he actually gets a half-track. My goodness. Panzers are also taking losses. Panzer fought from the Fallschirmjägers. And a tank destroyer gets knocked out. Fallschirmjägers and Panzer Grenadiers gain veterancy. Grenade goes off, blows apart the fence. Quite the fight right there. Becreative, though, did not gain any larger advantage right there. Now getting more riflemen to replace the ones lost. And I also think he might actually wanted to go for his German, so he could actually deal with all that infantry. Plus, of course, could still deal with the armored cars and with the anti-tank half-tracks. Armored cars rushing in, anti-tank are moving up. Be careful with that. Sticky bomb on the armored car. Rifle move. Oh, getting slaughtered out in the negative cover. Immobilized. Armored car up here. That could be an easy target to knock out if ambushed. And some Panzers continuing up in the west. Good job, Menno. It's actually time to have a look at Becreative once more. Who's gone armored, and he's gone for field repairs. That means, of course, he's going for a Pershing. He's basically keeping his opponent at bay. Keeping occupied with little infantry bits and basically keeping him down that lane of thinking, and then he's going to hit him with a Pershing. Oh, that's again being extremely creative from Becreative. He's definitely got some sneaky ideas. Fallschirmjägers though down. Actually getting gunned down quite a bit. There seems to be a bit of an oddity in their retreat. A bit of panic right there, I sense. Armored car also got knocked out. This is all of a sudden looking less grand for Neugieux, though he still has a lot of infantry with the ability to handle a bit of everything. And Panzer Grenadiers flank ever nicely, jolly good.
We're ready to move in.
And looks like some engineers have gained veterancy. Hurrah! And of course, some of you might be wondering, how do they gain veterancy? Well, that's an odd thing. If I'm not mistaken, in this case, it's that engineers actually gain veterancy through their mines. Not many other units actually get it, but engineers do. A grenade to stop rushing Panzers did not work. Basically, I believe the first one actually just makes them a bit harder to hit and makes them more accurate. Second veterancy level gives them some bonuses in defensive terms. Basically, they take less damage and again become harder to hit. And the third one, and I believe the amount also eventually should become harder to suppress. I'm not entirely sure on that. And the third one actually makes them more accurate and makes them do more damage by 50%. So, for example, if they get a flamethrower, of course, they'll be very, very, very lethal. Still some blows there due to mines. Though that anti-tank gun was secured. Again, not a lot of units. Though he has a few more units this time around. Again. Panzer Rex flying. Still holding most of the map though. Fallschirmjäger spring for ambush. Quickly pulling up behind some cover. That's good. Though be careful. Do not run into Fallschirmjägers. They're very lethal. No, apparently they just run away. Eastern flank collapsing, and again Becreative pushing on every flank, being very aggressive, doing more with less, which again is quite remarkable to see. Quite remarkable, and trying to say American players should really know this sort of aggressiveness he's really employing here.
This war isn't gonna win itself.
Fallschirmjägers and Panzers moving in. The 106th Panzer Brigade does not give up. Rather no get caught in a rather severe crossfire. Another anti-tank gun on the way, and of course note, both supply yard upgrades. Damn good, damn good. Again, just wish he basically had gone for a medic station much earlier. I think that really would have helped him. And a Panzer Grenadier sneaks up a BAR. Ooh, incendiary grenades from Neugieux, burning out those Americans, though they do gain veterancy 1. That's only going to make them that much more difficult, although note, he's been basically taking some heavy losses, and he's not really been able to kill a lot of Panzer Grenadiers, though, so at the same time, it's probably going to take us a bit of a while before it really gets that veterancy, which is going to make it a lot harder for those Panzer Grenadiers. In particular now that he has veterancy. And there we go, flamethrowers on the engineers. Fallschirmjägers trying to deal with it, but they're actually getting burned alive.
Infantry squad lost.
And then another engineer team goes down to some Panzers on the western flank. And Becreative could be getting a Sherman now if he decided to. And Neugieux could do with a slightly more central defense. Perhaps some Luftwaffe troops to lay down some barbed wire sandbags.
Stay by me and I'll keep you alive. GI's ready.
And these riflemen need to be very careful, although he's up to 4 now, still. Oh dear, trying to lob a grenade and they went down. Oh, unfortunately, he's again quite aggressive. Panzer then went down in the west. Another push in the center. Kettenkrad moving up on the east. Good job there from Neugieux, keeping up the harassment himself.
We're losing a munitions sector.
And the anti-tank gun providing a bit of anti-tank fire, although there's nothing really for either anti-tank gun to hit. All these Panzer need to get out of there. This is not a good situation. That armor car providing a nice amount of heavy cover, although I suppose there's some psychological aspect to be hiding behind the wreck of your own vehicles. And watch this, he's gotten Panthers, yet he's not using them. He's got the mightiest asset of the Panzer Brigade, and he's not using it. Neugieux, are you absolutely nuts? Are you daft, man? You've got Panthers. Push. Push, for heaven's sake. 1 anti-tank, and it's not going to be stopping 2 Panthers, unless, of course, you're absolutely inept. And a Kettenkrad get lost, but come on, Panthers, man. You've got Panthers. Not kittens. Not some flabby Tomcat, but the Panther, the Panzer 5. Push, man, push. Vorwärts. Mach schon, schnell, schnell, Kartoffelkopf. You're steel. Or we'll have you made into steel. Flamethrower just moving in. 8 kills so far. And looks like he's getting more riflemen. Just keeping up that rifleman pressure. In fact, he's going for 5 teams? My goodness. Panthers are still not moving. Neugieux, what's going on here? You've got 2 Panthers. Just move in some Panzer Grenadiers or Fallschirmjägers. Push. It's not exactly rocket science. Not expecting you to invade Russia here. Just expecting you to support some Panthers and keep pushing, for heaven's sake. But very, very close for Becreative. Oh, a mine hit. 2 Panzer Grenadiers down again. Mine's doing an absolutely horrific job for Becreative. And there we go. The engineers gain the 2 kills right there and gain veterancy too. They're going to be harder to kill now. My goodness. Fallschirmjägers under fire, but they're fighting back with the FG-42. Since he's supposed to be a light MG for the Fallschirmjägers, but it sort of ended up being an early variant of an assault rifle. Or could be that. And there we go. Panthers slightly moving up. Slightly.
Losing ground out there.
Better than not at all. And further fighting here. Panzer is getting pushed back. Nice solid assault there from Becreative, though still no medic station from. Really, I mean, with that much infantry, I'd really recommend the medic stations, really get the most out of them. I mean, come on. But he is being very close to being able to call in a Pershing. He just needs 1 more command point. Armor coming up the flank. Becreative putting his forces a bit together to increase firepower. Yet at the same time not blobbing. And again, Panthers, move. Come on, Achtung, Achtung, Panzermarsch.
I got a bad feeling about this, Sarge.
And let's just speed this up. Neugieux being a bit too passive for my liking. Bit too passive at this stage. When he has 2 Panthers. I mean, really? 2 Panthers, you're not using them? Panzer, oh, getting burned alive horribly. Getting shot up. Grenades. Oh dear, heavy losses veterans you want for the rifleman. Armor car that rushes in. But will it be enough? And let us return. Whoops, didn't mean to pause it. Armor car gets hit. Panzer continue. Right into the waiting arms of a lot of riflemen. Let's just speed this up. Armor car doing a bit of work there. Again, I rather need to do this, otherwise it's going to be a bit too long, I think, for Windows Movie Maker to like it. Panther is pushing up the center. And again, be creative. Being aggressive on several points, that is what we like to see. Mortar rounds flying. Apparently a mortar half-track has been pulled in, and this would really have been the majority of the artillery support that our Panzer Brigade would have had. That would have been the mortars that would have gone with the Panzer Battalion's heavy company. Well, I suppose the Pioneers might also have had some. Not entirely sure how that worked. I'll need to read up on that, actually. I think they would have had something. But a Pershing has arrived. The 4th Armored Division calling something in. And again, Panther's not moving. Why on earth, Neugieux? Now there's actually something there to make things hell for them. And of course, hell for your Panzers. And there we go. 1 shot, 3 Panzer Grenadiers dead. Oh dear, 2 veterans. Oh, and there we go. Another shot. It's just murdering Panzer Grenadiers. It's a pure beast.
The enemy is seizing our territory.
Pure bread for the annihilation of the German army.
We have destroyed an enemy unit.
And oh dear, he didn't get those troops out in time. The building collapsed with the rifle in it, leaving behind 1 BAR. But the Panthers are moving in. Anti-tank half-track moving in. Lots of munitions being floated. Come on, use your command points. You're not waiting for the Pershing. How about getting the Henschel strafing run? You got the command points for it. You got the munitions for it. And we are seeing field repairs. Support is going to be needed for that Pershing rifle moving in. Field repairs doing what they can. Might really need to get at least that anti-tank half-track. There we go. How about the Panthers? Come on, Pershing. Fight. A good fight. Sticky bomb on the 1 Panther. Pershing constantly getting repaired. Damaged engine. More rifle moving in. Panzers with Panzer tracks. Rifle getting shot up. A good grenade here would be wondrous. Pershing down by Panther. Oh dear. Panthers though are heavily damaged. Grenade on the Panzer grenade. Oh, Panzer grenade got absolutely annihilated by the grenades. Anti-tank are moving forwards. Panther getting hit. Trying to get close with a sticky bomb, but I don't think they'll make it. Oh no. And there we go. Dead anti-tanker needs to get to safety. Quite a blow to be creative. But he's already gotten several of those, and he doesn't give up. He just keeps on coming. He keeps getting back. He is unstoppable, it seems. I doubt he's going to stop now just because he lost 1 silly little Pershing. Come on.
Go ahead with orders.
Although I have no idea how many riflemen he's lost. He might have lost 1 company or 2. I think at this stage of the fight.
Sent your mission out.
Would not be surprised. Or at least several platoons worth. And there we go, let's speed this up a bit. Fortune Maker's pushed away. Panther bit caught up. Panzer is left behind enemy lines. And there we go. Pershing numero 2 coming out. Or numero 2. Panther getting hunted down. Panzer moving in, doing what they can. Pershing on the hunt. There are some other things that could be a nice target, but the Pershing only wants the blood of the Panther. And it might get it. It might be able to avenge its brother Pershing. Victory point secured by the Panzer Brigade. The 106th heroically fighting on. And the Panther is down. Veterancy 1 for the Pershing, increasing its speed. Now Be Creative just needs to be creative in dealing with that Kettenkrall and securing as much territory again. Otherwise he's going to get drained of victory points very soon. More Panzer are being equipped. Oh dear, further heavy losses. And Panzer bounces off. Veterancy 3 Panzer guys with 3 BARs. Will they make it out of there? Yes, apparently. And anti-tank could be there to stop it, but then again, it could also just get knocked out. Pushing in the east and taking us back as much as possible. And again, speeding out a bit, mortar rounds flying through the air.
The Americans are capturing a sector.
Pershing going to be needing quite a bit of repairs though. And looks like Neugieux is getting ready, lining up. Anti-tank grenades have been prepared. That could certainly help. Sticky bomb on the Kettenkrad. Oh dear. Not destroying it though. Anti-tank half-track still there. Mortar half-track still there. Veteran T2 engineers also there. And looks like a Sherman has arrived for the armor. There we go. My goodness, the headset flew off right there. Sorry. Can happen. Now the Sherman is on the prowl. It smells mortar half-tank and it wants a bite. Doesn't get off a good shot, but now the Pershing arrives. Mortar rounds on the riflemen. Dear, one more shot and this mortar could be history. No, looks like the mortar will survive this. Anti-tank are moving up.
A unit has died in action.
And looks like someone went down, not sure who. Could have been the Kettenkrad actually. Panzer gun is moving up. The armored force of Becreative moving up to perhaps deal with it. While a few Volkswagen sneak up on the eastern flank with 22 kills to the name. What is he up to? What is Becreative being up to? He is a bit creative, you know, so he could be up to something creative. And again, going for the point right there, although these highly veteran Panzer gun is moving in to deal with that. No more of that nonsense. Need to get out of there, although Veteran T2 might keep them alive as they retreat. Yes, indeed. Just barely, though. Had they not had Veteran T2, I don't think they'd survived. Panzer is taking heavy losses. And Veteran T2 for the Pershing, increasing the penetration of its main gun, which is only going to make it even harder for the Panthers to deal with. And I do believe he's even upgraded the main gun of the Sherman, making that more lethal, and that also affects the Pershing, mind you. So the Pershing will pretty much be very lethal in dealing with pretty much the frontal armor of every tank, at least what the Panzer Elite can present. With its only 80mm of frontal armor. Not sure if it had at 45 or 50, that actually depended on the variant of the tank, if it was the A or G. Oh dear, half-track out of control. Field repairs. But anti-tank half-track went out of control. And Panther could be in problems. Oh dear, he only got one Panther battle group. They have been working on dealing with this, but apparently it can still happen. Quite unfortunate. Meant he just spent 1,000 manpower on one Panther. That's not good business. Although I suppose he could make it up for it by getting a Bergetiger and repairing that Panther over there. Anti-tank and recruit and let us return. In fact, Panther could get sticky bomb, but still pretty bad. Pretty bad, not good things when you have a Panther Veteran T2 on the move. Anti-tank gun destroyed. Still no medic station for Becreative. He seems to be creative, but he's just lacking that one medic station creative spark. Panzer is charging in, getting blasted by the Pershing. Pershing getting repaired. He might want to actually getting more engineers to do that. Anti-tank gun sold out. Oh! Assault grenadiers went down. Feldherrn Halle holding out, but still taking quite a few losses. Also, fun fact about the 106th Panzer Brigade, it was led by an Ostfront veteran who had been leading a pretty specific formation over there, known as the Schwere Panzerregiment Becre, which had the distinction of pretty much holding all of the half of all heavy armor, I believe, on the Eastern Front. I mean, it was basically a regiment fully equipped with Panthers and Tigers. There weren't really any other formations like it. He still did pretty well. And then they sort of got sent over to the Eastern Western Front. They were sort of basically expecting the Americans would be fighting like Soviets. They learned the hard way they would not. So they actually got quite some beatings because they'd rather underestimate the Americans. And rather how the Americans operated. rather than taking heavy losses. Sherman getting repaired, and it looks like a Calliope has arrived as well. Panther moving up on the east. Sherman getting veterancy 1. Pershing versus Panther. Engineer moving up. He still needs more engineers, and he might also want to get another field repairs up. Oh dear, the Pershing went out of control. Oh no.
Pershing lost to enemy action.
A blow to the 4th Armored Division. Though the 106th that you might have noticed aren't really doing too well either at the moment. Sherman's still there though. So is the Calliope. He's going to again need more engineers. Then again, he's probably saving resources for another Pershing. In the meanwhile, let's speed things up. Nice to see those butterfly bombs. In the meanwhile, a bit of rocket barrages forcing away some Panzer grenadiers. Quite unfortunate for them, of course. Oh dear, minor assault right there by Becreative. Under strength troops, but running in against these rather veteran Panzers equipped rather excessively with automatic weapons. Sending the Americans scurrying back to base. Sherman not even fully repaired. Oh no. Looks like he will be getting the Pershing any second now. Come on. Pershing. There we go. More butterfly bombs, basically laying down a minor minefield right there instantly. Jolly good show. Jolly good show right there by Neugieux, showing he's not the Becreative's not the only one that can be creative, though. Panther's moving in. Pershing though has arrived on the field, of course. Henschel strafing one. And of course, note when you use it, you have to have line of sight to the units. You want actually for them to hit, otherwise nothing's going to happen. Sherman out of control. Another Henschel comes flying in. Pershing forced away. Sticky bomb on one Panther. Damaged engine. And then a Calliope barrage ran into the middle of everything. Oh dear, Panther gets immobilized. What remains of the brigade moves forwards. Heavy losses, but they're still in the fight. So are the Fallschirmjägers, although for how long though? One man down. More butterfly bombs. Apparently Neugieux basically figures he might as well just try to stop them with whatever he has in hand, which is not a bad idea. He does not want to give further excuses for Becreative to be creative and get back into the fight, which is rather what might have caused this fight to last so long. And trying again, much more lovely. Ketcraft moving him out. Pershing in a bit of trouble. Moving in against all those Panthers. Panzer Grenadiers at the front. Good, good. And he's actually managed to keeping his Panthers in a slightly more aggressive state, yet also alive. And this one is even gained veterancy too, giving it a machine gunner. Lovely. I don't think the mortar half-track is supposed to be that close to the enemy, and there we go. Lesson learned. And running through that minefield. Nasty that. Again, Pershing is going to need repairs. More anti-tank guns on the way.
We're losing ground out there.
Panzer is caught right in the middle of everything. Pershing moving into the enemy base. Panzer is barely making out there, and I think they actually lost one of their BARs. And anti-tank gun ready. Kettenkraft sneaking about at the front. Still no further engineers to repair his armor. I do find that a bit odd. He's not been bothering with that. Only one engineer team at all times to really keep all that armor repairing. In particular, Pershing would have benefited from additional engineer teams. But again, be creative. Creative as always keeps pushing. Kettenkraft down, grenades and such on the anti-tank gun. And the anti-tank gun opening up on the Panther. Looks like this Panzer team got themselves another BAR. More anti-tank guns. Points being taken away. Does all of a sudden look a bit grim for Becreative. Another Calliope barrage though, to soften things up. Perhaps also clear out the minefields a bit. Pershing barely repaired, moves up. Another anti-tank gun. Calliope blasting away whatever it can.
57 crew, ready for order.
And back to the fighting. Panthers in every part where they can be needed. Panzer is rushing forwards. And the Pershing hits another mine again. Why doesn't he get more engineers? Finally getting more engineers. About damn time. Anti-tank gun saw it out once more. That anti-tank gun must be cursed at this stage. I have no idea how many crews that have been manning that have been killed. Another retreat for the 4th Armoured Infantry. More engineers rushing up with minesweepers. This is good, this is good, this is lovely, but still, repair that damn Pershing, you fool. If I didn't know better, I'd say Neugieux was actually waiting for another Panther battle group, which would actually give him about 5 Panthers, which I believe is 1 full platoon. Pershing keeps hitting mines. That's less good.
We got, looks like mixed AT,
And another assault, and there we go. Another Henschel strafing run. Going for field repairs, but he needs to get out of the line of fire. Think of that. Never mind. Henschel to the rescue. Luftwaffe saves the day for once. Another Pershing down. Flamethrower engineers burning away. Panzer getting absolutely scorched horrifically. Calliope barrage right out everything. Downing that Pershing pretty heavily. And that Panther is in a terrible condition. There we go, as suspected. A second Panther battle group, this time with 2 Panthers. Other 2 are pretty much out of commission until they can be repaired most swiftly. I imagine Becreative will try to most creatively get another Pershing. Oh dear, Calliope a bit too close to the front. Panthers rushing in. One of these engineers might be getting veterancy free. That would be quite something else. Which I say this match has already been on many levels. Let's speed this up a bit as well. No point in hiding how.
Losing ground out there.
Looks like an anti-tank gun got wrecked. A bit of Calliope. They were lovely, and another Pershing soon on the way.
We're at 200 points.
Not entirely sure if he needs more anti-tank guns, or perhaps he shouldn't try for some tank destroyers. To sort of support his Pershing's aspirations. There we go, another Pershing. That would be the 3rd one, if I'm not mistaken. Quite a bit of heavy armor from the Americans.
We're losing ground out there.
This is armor reporting.
And a bit of quiet as small skirmishes take part. Now the larger assault moves in. 3 Panthers on the flank could be charging in towards the center to do some damage, but again, Neugieux does seem to have that bit of a problem, really launching any attacks and being aggressive, which is a bit of a problem since he's playing Panzer Elite.
Pershing has the field.
Come on, Neugieux. Come on, Neugieux. Be a man. Come on. Haven't got all day. Another Calliope barrage. And again, Neugieux just seems content to sitting on his ass. His flaccid buttocks, which is not really what you want in a Panzer Brigade commander. Come on. Numerous anti-tank guns being prepared. Neugieux just sort of twiddling his thumbs, which is not really an aspirational trait. But the Pershing runs into 2 Panthers right away. Anti-tank gun move up. Come on, Neugieux. Forwards. You have the forces. Now you just need the will. There we go. Panthers on the move. You've even got a Henschel to provide support. Anti-tank gun and Calliope barrage proves to be a bit more of a problem, but still, yes, attacking from another angle. That's what we like to see. And now we see the assault of the 106th Panzer Brigade. Calliope down. Pershing down, and another one immediately gets sent in to replace. Anti-tank guns getting outflanked. Anti-tank guns down. This could be it. This could be the final moment that not even Becreative can come back from. Come on, Neugieux, don't mess this up. Veterancy free engineers, pure pyromaniacs. If only they had a chance of surviving. Panther following away, forcing those chaps off. And all Panthers converging on that final little Pershing. Pershing down, rifle holding the line, some veterancy free. Anti-tank and recruit, not really looking good for him though. Oh, he has a few veterancy free, and no, that's not another Pershing, just the wreck of the first one. Anyways, might as well end this before Flaps decides to be even further hilariously fun. And of course, say, I mean, what can we learn from this? And no, it's not Panzer really is overpowered. If you're saying that, you might want to have a serious discussion with yourself in a mirror. And perhaps afterwards have a discussion with a therapist. But that's another matter. I mean, the case that really, you know, I mean, I can't say Panzer Leader is overpowered because note how Becreative was able to constantly get back. His major problem, though, was he simply lost too much. I mean, he just lacked that one thing. He essentially lacked medic stations to really keep up with it. He needed something to allow him to constantly have those losses. Because while Neugieux certainly was a bit, you know, poor on aggression, which is rather valuable in a Panzer League commander, though at the same time, he was pretty damn good with unit preservation. And that's rather what won this entire game. I mean, Becreative was quite close several times. I mean, he had the ability to really come back from terrible things, yet he would lose again and again because he couldn't keep up with the losses he suffered. He had no medic stations. He really should have gotten some. I really think it would have won him the game, but also he might want to consider more tank destroyers sort of support his Pershings. Otherwise, he was pretty damn close. I mean, he had great mining, great aggression, great harassment, great everything. Just unit preservation. That was his major flaw right here. And in that sense, Neugieux basically beat the living snot out of him because he was able to hold out. So there you go. Hope you enjoyed this game. If you did, why not subscribe and tell your friends? And if you didn't, hey, why not send a replay of your own? This is Imperial Danes, ain't cheers.